We want to go ahead and welcome that young gentleman in as well right now, Connor Clardy from Five Tool as well. Connor, thanks so much for joining us, my friend. First and foremost, how much fun do you have, not just on location for those types of events, but just in the planning and, how to come up with these ideas of what the backdrops are going to be, what are the shots going to be? How much fun is it?
It's so much fun, Tyler, and thank you so much for having me today. It's this is a topic I love to talk about. I've been on a lot of these shoots, and it's just a lot of fun to. You talked about planning. Everyone you do, you learn something new. You learn a better way to shoot. You learn, what purpose each backdrop serves, and you kind of build off each other. So as we do more and more of these giving days, or I should say media days coming up, they're just going to get better and better and have more fun for us and the people who join us on the shoots.
So we've done several of them now to this point, right? Where, we talked about Tufts being the very first one. I think BU was actually the next one that we might have done in person. With that in mind, what are some of the things that you've learned and some of the takeaways that you would kind of implement going forward?
I think definitely it's all about the relationship with the subjects and the participants that help out. Because at the end of the day, they are the content that you're shooting. And if they're not having a good time, it translates really poorly to the actual footage in the edit, and people can tell it's kind of forced, it's kind of whatever. So I think making that first initial, hey, my name's Connor, welcome in. I know this is overwhelming. Let me tell you why you're here and what you're doing, and why we have bubbles and props and silly things like that. We promise it's going to look cool at the end of the day. So establishing that relationship with the subject and the participants is really important, so that throughout the half an hour or hour block or whatever it is that they're there. They know why they're there. They know how to have fun, and they want to have fun so that later down the line, people see the video, they donate to the cause, and it actually benefits from the video that they're making.
Talk about that. That's one thing that I think is really interesting. With every video that we always put together, whether it's for a media day or not, we always say start with the audience. Who is going to be watching this? Where is this going to live? Does the same hold true for a media day? Because I think that's one of the things that sometimes you get so ingrained in we're going to have flashing lights, we're going to have sparklers, we're going to have confetti cannons and all the cool stuff that you almost start to lose track of. Wait a minute, who's going to be watching this video? Where's this going to go? Talk about the importance of that, keeping that top of mind throughout the entire process.
Yeah, it's very important because, like you said, you can get lost in the weeds of, oh, this time I want to have these cool flashing lights that are, the same color for the college or the same company, and have smoke. And oh, we took all this time to think of the prop list and have flags and posters. That's all great, but like you're saying, if the people watching are saying, okay, this is silly, this is crazy, why am I going to donate, the whole video, this purpose is defeated. So throughout the whole shoot, you really have to come back to the roots and say, okay, why are we doing this, what is the purpose of the video, and think of that through the whole thing. And a lot of that, I would say, honestly comes through the edit as well, because while we're editing these, I think we're thinking of these professional sports teams and whatnot and their media days and saying, how cool can I use a slow-mo? What cool effects can I throw on the thing? But like you're saying, if you don't remember why you're making these videos in the first place, the end product is not really going to do its job.
Awesome. So I want to show another behind the scenes video right now, and I'm going to bring you back after that. We'll talk about Emerson College, which happened to be the another behind the scenes video that we put together, all about media days. But before we do that, one of the questions I have to ask you is just how much setup is involved, because I know it, but sometimes people don't realize we're bringing in a whole heck of a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I think it was maybe Emerson and BU are probably the biggest. And people, like you said, really don't realize, because what you'll see, especially in the Emerson one, is the difference between using artificial backdrops and using the natural location that you shoot in. So for BU, for example, we brought in every backdrop. So everything you see in the video, you're not going to know where we were on campus, what room we used, that doesn't matter. Versus the Emerson one, where we actually used the gym that we shot in as a backdrop in multiple locations, which was really cool. So the equipment is just crazy. I mean, you take up a whole car, a whole van, people are taking stuff, driving like this with the seamless paper through the windshield. And it is just crazy because you don't really realize how much, backdrop takes up space, cameras take up space, lighting takes up space. But it's one of those things at the end of the day, it just makes the shots look so cool that it's kind of worth it.
It is worth it. Not kind of, it is worth it at the end of the day.
It is worth it.
Safety, we got to work on that, but it's okay.
The basis of this idea was it's inspired by these NFL, PGA, whatever it is, the cool media days that you see in athletics. And yeah, that definitely translates well, as you just saw in the Emerson behind the scenes, that these kids are used to it. They're naturals. They love being in the spotlight on camera, and they have props that make sense. You're going to swing a bat, you're going to throw a ball. When you get into some of the other stuff, we talked about earlier at Tufts, you got the gaming club and the electric racing team and the First Center, and these kind of bigger ideas that necessarily don't correlate right to a prop, don't correlate right to an action. But it's still important to get these kids on camera, get these organizations, clubs, and whatever else you shoot. They need this attention as well, just like athletics. And so this goes back to getting them comfortable, making them have fun, and getting them or letting them know why they're there, why are they making this video, and why is it going to help them down the line with donors and funding at the end of the day.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be just kids and students, right? It could be other people in other organizations. So that's where we want to take the conversation next, because not only have we done this for 3 different schools, and we're continuing to have more discussions about different universities wanting to do that, we've also done this for nonprofit organizations as well. And it's the idea of getting everybody, instead of us coming to your gym, because a lot of nonprofits don't necessarily have a gym at their disposal, they'll actually come to our office. So with that in mind, we actually had the Joe Andruzzi Foundation, JF, who we've worked with on several projects over the past couple of years, and they're just one of our favorite groups to work with. We love everybody there, and that's why we're so happy to have all of them come to our office, spend about half a day in the office getting headshots, doing interviews, having some fun in the 360 booth as well.